Hello tech friends, today I've got another PDA. This one's by Texas Instruments, the guys that made your calculator for school. This is called the Avigo, and it looks like they had a go at making a PDA, but this is pretty much their only foray into the market. This one is the Avigo 10, and there wasn't a 1 to 9 or indeed anything after this. This is pretty much it from Texas Instruments, and it was brought out in 1997 to compete with the much more popular Palm Pilot. So let's have a little look around this and see what we've got. We've got the all-seeing eye on the top there, the old infrared for a bit of infrared communication. We've got the stylus. Got to have a stylus on something like this, and somewhere to put it in the scabbard. Nothing down this side, although there's a bit of a gap between the bits of front plastic and back plastic. I guess it's to go into a dock, and on the bottom you've got these 4 sockets which are probably for the pins for the dock, but I don't have the dock. I don't have any of the documentation. I don't have anything other than this device itself. It's exploratory, this video. On this side we've got a contrast wheel, so that means we're probably in monochrome land, right? Let's just have a look at the front of this. We've got a open/power. We've got this button here which looks like it's a backlight. Then we've got shortcuts for address, schedule, to do, memo, and then we've got this sort of rocker up and downy button. So yeah, that's the entire device. I'll just quickly show you inside the back of this thing before we reset it and we can explore the opening together. We've got 2 AAA batteries and a backup CR2025. Now, I can't quite figure out how to turn this thing off once it's in use. And it's drained the batteries a number of times. So it's going to come up with a low battery warning when we turn it on. But I'm sure it'll last the length of the video. But behind this little screen here, if I lift this up, we've got a little terminal connection there. And I think, according to the very brief article on Wikipedia, it suggests that that's a slot for memory expansion. But we won't be fiddling around with that today. Let's just pop this back together. We're going to hit reset. Okay, we're hitting reset. Beep, beep, beep. And let's turn this on by flicking open the lid. It's going to spring open like a Star Trek tricorder, and careful, it might get you in the eye. Here we go. Okay, of course. I mean, it's very old, so I think the spring or whatever that makes this fly open has long since been worn out. So I'll just do it with my hands, like that. Okay, let's zoom in so we can take a closer look. Okay, this is what it looks like when you first turn it on after you've hit the reset button. It says it's testing, or Prüfung, or essay, or Peruiba. And we've got the calibration part of the screen here. It's nice and big, isn't it? We've got these shortcuts on the bottom here: calendar, calc, expense, data. That's an interesting one because that isn't like you'd get on most other things. That's like a database function. Apps and find. Okay, right. Set up touchpad, tap here. 1 beep for you. And then down here, 1 beep for you, and then 1 in the middle. I feel like we're perfectly orientated. Look, here we go. Here's our message about the backup battery. If we click OK, then we get this beautiful splash screen. Look at that. That's high definition. Configure your unit. I don't mind if I do. Yes, deletes all data and resets memory. Yes, come on, let's really do this. Your organizer is being configured. 1 moment, please. If you could just be patient while Texas Instruments does its thing for us. There we go. Actually, that didn't take very long, did it? Okay, local city, GMT. Yeah, fair enough. I'm going to say that's where we are. We've got the date here. Okay, it's going to take some scrolling to get us to the right year. Can I actually type it in if I press the year? No, I can't. I'm going to have to scroll. That's fine. 2023. And we're in May at the moment. Here we are, and it's May the 20th, which is there. Okay, it's a Saturday. Great, we've done that. We've got these little sort of cross and tick marks on there, so I'm going to tick that. Then we click on next. Right, power down after 1 minute. So it automatically turns off apparently, but I'm not sure if that is working or I just haven't noticed it. Because the thing is, when you have the lid over the top, you can't see the screen and whether it's on or not. It's kind of like Schrodinger's PDA. Yeah, that's a normal thing to say. Power down after 1 minute. Alarm sound, stylus tone, power on graphic, default don't show. I guess that's that splash screen at the start. Oh, we'll keep that on. It looks so beautiful. And then we're going to set our date format. Great. We have the opportunity for day, month, year. My preferred date format. Time, 24 hour, because we're cool. Decimal separator. Should it be a period or a comma? It's got to be a period, hasn't it? And start of the week, Sunday or a Monday. My mother would say it was a Sunday. Let's keep it at that. Right. Set up power on message, name and note. Oh, I can put some information in here, can I? I'm pressing it. Oh, it's let me type the note. And now we've got our first view of the keyboard, the input. Now these buttons are tiny, teeny weeny tiny, but at least they're in a QWERTY layout so I can actually type something in. Let's try typing in welcome to my Avigo. Yeah, just about works, doesn't it? We've got symbols in here. Can I do an exclamation mark? Not from that screen, I can't. Have we got one if I press shift? Oh yeah, there we go. Change the top row of numbers into the most commonly used symbols, so that was fine. Then we've got these buttons down here on the left hand side, which will alter these buttons so that they do letters with accents on, or the 2 dots, which I think is an umlaut. If I press the / one, I'll just wipe the screen there. / you can see the E now has that on the top, and if I press the back one, it's now changed it there, so that would then come out if I actually typed it. One of the other features on this device, which is a bit unusual for a PDA, is a T9 keyboard, which you would more commonly associate with a small phone with just like a numeric keypad. Here, look, I'll show you. T9 dictionary. So I can just start typing. If you've never seen a T9 dictionary, this is going to confuse you, I think. So I'll try and explain it. This is almost like a number pad on an old phone, right? So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 0 would generally be space or something like that. Each of the letters are in a group. So we've got A, B, C, and then we've got D, E, F. So you kind of think, well, I just press the letters, do I, to type it? Well, no, you don't need to do that. It can predict what you're going to type. If I try and type the word hello, all I need to do is press the H once, E, L, L, O, and it figures out I want to do hello. I mean, it highlights the letters as I'm pressing it, but that is actually a bit of a distraction because you're generally just pressing the entire button. How good is it? Well, let's try and type a more complicated word. Let's try, I don't know, interested. So oh, I've done that wrong. Interested. Look at that. It's picked it up. And it's not all the first letter of the key. It's basically used predictive text to figure out what you're going to type, which is, I guess similar to using swipe on a modern smartphone, but I mean, this was the fastest way you could type. Imagine doing this with 2 thumbs. Pew, 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 pew. You could go at like 1 billion words a minute or something approaching that speed. Anyway, that's a T9 dictionary, so we can carry on using that to do lots of input, and it may be useful in some situations and rubbish in others. If I switch it to numeric, look, we've got numbers here, although they're in the opposite way round that a phone was. It's more of a calculator layout, that one, then you've got symbols and stuff like that. Right, so let's just tick this and let's go and have a look at a bit more of the device. And we start on the calendar. It's an excellent place to start. Gosh, I tell you what, I get very excited about calendar layouts. This is quite a good one, I think. We've got the year, we've got the month, all highlighted. You've got the days of the week. See, beginning on a Sunday. Excellent work. It tells me how many days we've got remaining. What, in our lives? No, just until the end of the year. 225 days. We're on day 140, week 20. Weeks remaining 32. Where's the time going, eh? Then we've got these shortcuts down here for schedule, to do, and day scan, right? which I think is just kind of brings up everything that's happening on that particular day. If I press up and down on these buttons here, it switches between different months. So you can quickly skip to a particular month and see if you've got any appointments on it. So we're at May. Let's go to the schedule. And here it is. Another pretty nifty layout. Well, let's add something, shall we, for 10 o'clock? Great. We can categorize things, but there's only one item in there, and I think maybe you can add things to the category a little bit later. So we got our date and we got our time. It says from 10 until 11. What if I change that to 11:20? Yep. It's an hour and 20 minutes. What are we doing? Well, I'm going to type it in. Remember the keyboard from last time. I want to type in just capital letters MOT for the car. That's what I'm going to do today. But I'm going to type it in because it's not going to know what that means. Not very good with abbreviations and things, the T9 dictionary. So MOT, and then maybe I'll switch back to the T9 dictionary to type in something more generic in terms of sentences. Make space sure you take the car to the mechanic. Oh, have I spelled that wrong? I spelled it wrong. MECHINAC. Oh, well, you get the general idea. Should we just say garage instead? Let's say garage instead. Okay. You'll notice that at the bottom as you're typing it, it comes up with all the other words that you could have with that combination of button presses. But there we go. Obviously, spelling, not my strong suit. There, I can make a repeat of this particular event. I can set an alarm. I can mark it as private. Get your hands off my Avigo. And I can put a note on there. Well, let's just tick it and see how it looks in the calendar. That's really good, isn't it? Nice and clear. And then at the bottom, we've got go to, so we can go to a specific date. We've got new, if I want to create a new entry. And then what's this button here? This is a bit of an unusual feature for a PDA. It's like a rotate feature, like auto rotate on your phone. Look, if I just press this, hey, that's cool, isn't it? It's now presenting the timeline along the top, and then the individual entry. Well, we're looking at it. I can zoom in on the timeline here and zoom out. So I presume I can move around and look at different parts of the time as well. And if you just press X there, it goes away again. And there's a couple of different areas where you can do that rotation. And I think that is a pretty cool feature. So there we go. So calendar, then we've got to do. Well, we better do something, hadn't we? See, it's interesting, isn't it? Because to do for me is like just a list of things you need to do, and there's no time associated with when those things need to happen, right? You just need to do it. Hey, I don't want to embarrass myself at the mechanics or garage, so I should wash the car, right? Let's do that. Wash the car. Toot toot. But look, it's telling me start on here and due on this, and that's not quite what I want from a to-do thing, or at least I want to have the ability to get rid of any time association, because then to me it feels like a calendar appointment. But hey, that's going to work. There we go, wash car, and look, we've got a little checkbox next to it. I bet if we just press that, yes, we can say we've done it. So I think that's pretty good. That's pretty cool. So let's go back to the calendar, and then we've got day scan. So if I just press day scan, yeah, it's just kind of bringing up your schedule essentially for any given day, and I think you can filter it by different categories, which again we haven't been able to set those. So I think that's a pretty cool thing to do, but of course it's also bringing up the to-do items as well. Right, that's enough of the calendar, to-do and schedule. Now the calculator has a few different functions. I know what you're thinking, that doesn't look like a calculator, and that's because up here, look at these different things we've got here. So let's just go to standard first off, right? That is a good looking calculator. Can you actually press the button? Normally with a calculator like that, the buttons are big enough that you can press it. No, it's stylus all the way for this. So let's put in some numbers and confirm that works. Oh, and I tell you what, it's got an incremental system. That is very exciting. Incremental system detected. Look, yes, if I press equals, after I've done 1 plus 1 and I keep pressing equals, it's going to increment the numbers, which means I can probably do my times tables. So if I do 5 times 1 equals 5, and then I keep pressing it, well, not times tables, but you know what I mean. Look, it increments upwards. That is excellent. Okay, so standard calculator function, no rotatability in there, no need, is there? Let's see, what else have we got? Well, we don't have a scientific calculator, but we do have cost cell margin. That's going to be some pretty exciting business stuff, isn't it? I guess you can figure out whether you can rip someone off when you're selling them a car. Right, and then the other one is date. And so if we got start date, please enter the 2 known values before solving for the unknown value. Yep, okay. I guess it's giving you a little bit of an instruction. So if I just go back to the 1st of May, and then I say, oh, I want to add on 50 days, please. Tick. And then will it solve it for me? Yeah, it tells me it ends up being on the 20th of June 2023. But if I take this out, if I clear that, because it's kind of like this triple equation thing, and then I say, okay, actually I want to know in July how many days is it in between, and I tick the button there, and then I press days. There it goes. It tells me that's 74 days away. So we got a nice little date calculator there, and you can press clear at the bottom. So that's our calculator. Expenses. Oh, we have lots of expenses in life. Well, I know I do. Right, these are business expenses though, of course. So we can put in the date and we can put in the amount. So let's say £800. Whoa, what have we spent £800 on? Well, we'll better tell the system. Was it an airfare? Was it breakfast? Was it car rental, dinner, entertainment, laundry? Laundry, £800. Breakfast, though, that's much more reasonable. Hey, you know, I saw the buffet and I just wanted more. We can put in a description. All you can eat. Very expensive. Very expensive breakfast. All you can eat. It's not bad typing on there, but you don't get any of the prediction ability. And I guess it's a little bit fiddly, so maybe the T9 dictionary is better in certain situations. All you can eat, and then you can put in other information as well. The merchant, the location, the method, cash. I like these because this really tells you how old this thing is. So we can pay with cash, unusual in itself. American Express, by check. Company paid, yeah, damn straight the company paid. Discover, MasterCard, Visa, or other. The company paid for that. Brilliant. And once you've got a list of these, you can press summary and it'll calculate for you. It says solve. I'll solve. What am I solving? And then it'll add it up. So I've only got one in there, so let's say an 800, but it's telling me over a period. So I can say, okay, what were my expenses for last month? And then I can submit those. So there we go. That's expenses for you. Next one along then. Let's have a look at this one. Data. Now, I think this is pretty cool. So this is essentially like setting up a database. So let's have a table. Let's call it cats. Let's think of all our favorite cats. Okay, not obsessed with cats. Tick the box. There we go, cats. And then we've got a list of fields and the data type we're going to store in there. So, well, this one's going to be name, isn't it? Because you need to have a name for each of your cats. This is going to be my favorite list of cats. And then we could put color in here because we've got to say what kind of color the cat is. And then, see, it says text as the type. Let's have a true or false one. Has tail? Because some cats don't have tails, do they? Has tail, tick. And we'll change that so it's a checkbox to say whether it's got a tail or not. Right, there we go. So that's our table. And then let's go into it. And again, this is one that you can rotate. And see, we've got name and color. I mean, I've actually written Coca in there, but let's just quickly edit that. Coca? Why didn't anyone tell me as I was typing that so poorly? Delete that and then press color. There we go. Oh, I've written it in the American way as well. Oof, that's not going to make some people very happy, is it? Okay, so if I rotate now we can see name, color, and has tail. So I can't add any in that way, but I'm going to put a new entry in here. Right, hey, okay, let's do a classic cat. What about Henry's cat? He's a cat, isn't he? Henry's. What colour was Henry's cat? He was yellow. Look up Henry's cat. UK TV for kids. Has tail? Yes, he had a tail. Tick. What about another cat? New entry. You can mark the cat as private. All cats are private. Top cat. He was one, wasn't he? Tick. What colour was he? I think he was yellow as well, actually. We're not really showing off the differences in the database. He had a tail too. Or let's say he didn't have a tail. Maybe he lost it in a bar fight. Let's rotate. And here we go. Look at that. We can see Henry, yellow, tick. Top, yellow, no tick. Can I press the ticky tick? No, this is just a view mode. But that's fair enough, isn't it? So that's cool. You've got your own database. You could do anything. It doesn't have to be cats. I mean, it should be, but it doesn't have to be. Okay, right. What have we got under apps? Well, you got your standard sort of setup-y function. So if I go into setup here, you've got date and time. So we can set that. Fine. We've already done that, haven't we? System. Again, it asks us these when we actually set up the device originally. Format, so we've seen that. Lists. So this is, I think, where you can probably add different categories so that they appear in different parts of the device to be able to select it. Then we've got power on message. Power on message, we've seen that already. And touchpad, that's for calibration. We've got security, so you can set a password so that you can't access certain parts without said password. Memory, let's have a look at that actually. Are we using up a lot? Not really. 680, what does that say? 5 kilobytes free, that's 99%, so we could really start pouring stuff into here. Sketch, come on, let's have a look at the old sketch. Now, we can draw on this thing. What? Yeah, we can draw on this thing. Okay, new sketch. We can give it a title. I'm going to simply call it art. If I can press the letter T. Yes, I can. Okay. Well, let's... I mean, it's not going to be Bob Ross, is it? Here's some trees. He likes trees, happy little trees. We've got some mountains in the background. That would be good, actually, doing a Bob Ross video drawing on one of these things. I mean, you don't really get sketch features on PDAs in general, do you? So he likes lots of trees down here. Let's just colour this in. But not only can we just draw, we can do shapes as well. Look, here's a square. Oh, come on. Here's a circle. What? Here's a line. Say hello to the line. That is great, isn't it? I mean... I wish there was a little text bit on here as well. That would be good. Can you change whether it's filled in or not? Obviously, we don't have colour. Yeah, look, see, that's a slightly lighter grey. I think you could really pull off some, like if you were just doing a quick little sketch, I think you'd get away with that. I think that's brilliant. Okay, so that's our sketches for us. We've got sync. Obviously, we can't do that. Very annoying. But world time, we can certainly have a look at that, can't we? Of course. So we've got GMT at the top. That's where we are. And then you can add extra ones down here. So it's not really like we're scrolling through all the different countries and cities and things. But let's pick Adelaide. And we'll tick the box. There we go. It's telling us what time it is there. And I presume we can then go and pick another. And there we go. I'm using this button again now. I've barely used this, but I can scroll up and down to different places. Which one have we picked here? Ho Chi Minh City. Tick. What time is it there? It is 15:20. And then you can just keep adding them and adding them and adding them. So you've always got to keep a keen eye because, you know, in the world of business, you might be calling people in your Adelaide office and you want to make sure they're awake. Otherwise, they'll be very upset. Okay, right. Final button on here then is find. And we can search in all of these different things. So Now, address, actually, I haven't shown you that. We'll pick up that in just a second. But let's search in the data. Let's look for Henry, right? He was one. Henry. And find. There it is. It's found it. And it's found his colour, but it didn't mention anything to do with his tail, did it? So there you go. So you can search for things. But yeah, address and memo, we didn't cover those, did we? Because they're actually dedicated buttons. It's a bit weird. They got a mixture of dedicated buttons and these sort of inlay buttons as well. So that one takes us to addresses. Of course, we can add an address. That one's pretty straightforward. We can put in their name. It says ID at the top. These got little subheadings, and that's quite good because not a lot of PDAs has this sort of segregation of the different areas. So you can, what's under numbers, that's for all your telephone numbers, your business details, your home details, miscellaneous. Oh, you can put the birthday in. That's good. Never miss a birthday again. There we go. That's my last little note on there using the memo function. Buy more PDAs. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to carry on making these videos for you, am I? So there we go. I'm going to close the lid on here now. Has that turned it off? Well, let's find out when we open it. Welcome to my Avigo. Look at that. That's my opening message, and it's dropped me straight back in here. But I suppose it is off now, and then it's not off. Who knows? Who knows? So there we go. That is the Texas Instruments Avigo 10, the one and only PDA that Texas Instruments ever made. It's not bad, is it? It's certainly a contender for a Palm Pilot 1, and if it was cheaper, I can see why this would have been successful. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.